Hi everybody and welcome back to the Hero of Kendrickstone with me, Johnny Nero. Hope you're all alright this morning. I am a little bit worse for wear, I'm a little bit ill. But I'm going to try and get this episode number 2 out because it's a great little game. I'm going to do another couple of little things come soon as well. But keep your eye on that. Anyway, here we are. Last time where were we? We created our man, Johnny Nero. Our stats are pretty. Our name is unknown. We are a young man of Forester's Hollow, freelance adventurer. Yep, that's all. We have 42 silver pennies and are in perfect health. I am in high spirits today and full of confidence. Ah. Oh, cool. Okay. Right, where were we? Oh yeah, big womanly butch knight came and saved us from our terrible fate at the hands of those banditos. Let's go. After about 200 paces, you come to a tall, sleek warhorse, saddled, caparisoned, and tied up to a tree at the side of the road. Dame Mildred gives the horse an affectionate pat and begins untying him. I forgot she was called Dame Mildred. I suppose, she says, looking over at you, you were bound for Kendrickstone, aye? You nod. Might I know why? The knight pulls the rope free and begins coiling it up. I seek a worthy master to take service with. I'm looking to become an adventurer for hire. I want to find my own way in the big city. That's none of your business. I'm looking to become an adventurer for hire. Yeah, that seems right. I don't want anyone to be my master. Mildred's expression softens at that answer. Are you now? I did some of that myself in my youth as a knight-errant, slaying monsters, helping dashing young lords stuck in towers, the like. There's a great sense of fulfillment in doing good like that, but the pay is irregular, the food is generally awful, and warm bed is damn scarce. The knight continues to speak as she prepares her horse for travel. If you're looking for a way to get food and bed between jobs, I'd be happy to take you on as a servant-at-arms in my retinue. It's hard work, but it's honest and it comes with a clean bed and hot food. What say you? You think it over. Steady meals and a warm bed do sound good, but tying yourself to a mistress, no matter how generous, might prove restrictive. So, she demands as she checks over her saddle harness, what say you? Yeah, we're definitely interested. She saved our life, so I'm definitely interested. The knight gives you a surprisingly warm smile. Excellent. Think it over for a bit to make certain, and then go to the keeper in Kendrickstone City and ask for me. I'll have you enrolled in my retinue then. Finally, Dame Mildred finishes her preparations. She places a foot in the stirrup, and with a single fluid motion, swings herself into the saddle. She brings her horse about, back towards the distant blood-red spires of Kendrickstone. She looks down at you from the saddle. If you'd like, I could escort you to the city gates. It won't be much trouble for me. Part of my duty is to keep travellers safe, after all. No, I can make my own way. The knight nods. Very well. With that, Dame Mildred chucks the reins, and her horse starts trotting towards the city. Soon, she is nothing more than a shrinking cloud of dust on the road ahead. As you make your slow, steady way towards the city, the day winds towards its end. The sun is low in the sky when you finally leave the forest and find yourself a few hundred paces from the imposing stone gates of the city of Kendrickstone. Your journey is over, for now. Oh, Chapter 3, Rogues and Wizards. Okay, so we, on our journey to Kendrickstone, we have been attacked by bandits. We had a caravan. I remember we saw that caravan and that they didn't really do much. Didn't find out much about those guys. But we have arrived in the city of Kendrickstone by the looks of it. Ready to begin our adventure, and we have our contact Mildred awaiting at some point, somewhere. You walk through the city gates alone. A guard looks over you as you pass, but satisfied that you are no threat, he does not bar your path. The high, narrow passage through the gatehouse is dark and entirely unlike anything you've seen before. You take a deep breath and walk forward, focused entirely on the dimming light at the other end. Then you are through, and you find yourself within the city walls, surrounded by a massive throng of people who mingle and surge and crowd the narrow, well-trodden city streets, even at this late hour. The senses of the city overwhelm you from every direction. First there is noise, the cacophony of hundreds of people, merchants hawking their wares, 100 different conversations, the cries of animals and children, the rattle of carts, and 100 other noises. It's all bubbling babble of a village meeting magnified 1,000-fold. Then there are the smells, the sweat and stink of 1,000 unwashed bodies, the miasma left by the piss and shit of humans and animals both, the stench of rotting food, smoke and cooking grease, and other foul odours you cannot even recognise. The air is thick with droppings and cast-offs, the rotting byproducts of tens of thousands of lives. Finally your ears get used to the cacophony and your nose begins to filter the overpowering stench, and you can see the glory that is Kendrickstone. Houses piled 3 or 4 stories high, stretching into the distance like a jumbled mass, the high, thick walls cordoning them from the outside world. To one side stands an immense human-raised mountain of spires and turrets and crenellated bulwarks in bloodstone red. The city's keep, where the Duke of Kendrickstone rules all he surveys. To the other side, a strange construction overlooks the city, what looks like 2 towers, one appended and hovering in mid-air above the other. Either that's a wizard's tower, or you're the Manser of Coriolandis. I could be the Manser of Coriolandis. I don't know. With the day quickly drawing to a close, you need to decide where to go. So I can go to the keep, enter Dame Mildred's service, go to Wizard's Tower. I don't want to save anyone, I find to stay. I'm going to go to Dame Mildred's service. We talked to a good game, so we're going to go prove that we are a good game. You head into the winding maze of narrow roads, some cobbled, some nothing more than a thick layer of dirt, rainwater and other materials you really don't want to think about. You head in the general direction of the keep, but soon the towering houses to each side of you blot out the setting sun and the blood-red walls of the keep. You find yourself helplessly lost. Before long you have no idea at all where you are. You've never been in a city like Kendrickstone, and the gloom of night coupled with the shadowy silhouettes of the buildings around you has left you entirely disoriented. Worse yet, the throngs of people who were crowding the streets not long ago have retreated into their homes. You're practically alone. Practically, but not quite. You turn yet another corner in the evening gloom, only to find yourself face to face with a pug-faced man in a stout leather jack, a truncheon in one hand and a lit torch in the other. "You there," he demands. "Where are your papers, boy?" Oh, shit. I tell him the truth. I have no idea what to talk about. I pretend to look for papers while thinking of a plan. I tell him the truth. I have no idea what you're talking about. Papers? What papers, you sputter? What are you talking about? The man with the truncheon steps closer. "Your writ of protection, you stupid boy. Where is it?" he snarls. A writ of protection? You have no idea what he could possibly mean. "I don't know what you're talking about," you protest. "Well, that's a real shame," whispers a voice from behind you. "Ah, well, that's a real shame." Oh, that's creepy, isn't it? Sorry. Whispers a voice from behind you as the cold steel of sharp blade presses against your throat. The man with the truncheon whistles 2 notes, sharp and loud in the evening gloom. Another dozen men and women step out of the shadows, seemingly from every alleyway and alcove. Some carry daggers, some clubs. 3 hold steel bird arbalists, capable of punching holes through steel plate. Great. Oh shit, everywhere we go, we get attacked by people. "Being out alone in the night without a writ of protection? You should know better," the man with the truncheon snarls. "You should know what that means." You spend a moment completely confused, since you obviously don't. The thug with the truncheon growls in frustration. "Hand over your money and weapons, you stupid idiot," he snarls. "We'll leave you the clothes on your back as courtesy, but next time we find you out with no writ, we'll just slit your throat and have done with you." How wonderful. For the second time today, someone's trying to rob you. Yep, that's very true. The situation looks grim indeed. You are in an unfamiliar city, alone at night and surrounded by more than a dozen heavily armed robbers. What now? Oh man, I can see this being really embarrassing if Mildred comes to our rescue again. I try and fight my way out. No, I haven't got a chance. I run and lose them in the streets. Maybe I could talk them out of robbing me. There must be... I tried to talk them out of it last time. That didn't go very well, did it? There must be some way to convince these people you're not someone they want to rob. Perhaps you could pretend you are the child of a powerful noble. No, your clothes aren't fine enough. The old standby of pretending to be a wizard in a harmless disguise? That may have to do. You open your mouth to speak. "What's all this then?" All around you the thugs seem to freeze up at the sound of a reedy but authoritative voice. A man steps out from the shadows. Not another thug, but a thin, balding man of middle years, dark hair pulled back and complemented by a neatly trimmed beard. He wears a bright blue doublet, black horse, and draped chaperon of a wealthy merchant. "Let that boy go," he orders. Surprisingly enough, the knife disappears from your neck. You can't help but stare in puzzlement. A wealthy merchant, alone at night and unarmed. These thugs should be robbing him, not taking orders from him. Boss, this was fair game, the man with the truncheon protests. No writ of protection or anything. Of course the boy has no writ, you stupid dolt, the man in the blue doublet replies peevishly. He's just coming to town. Jellick's group saw this one walk through the gate not an hour ago. The merchant walks up to you as the thugs all lower their weapons. Look, I'm quite sorry about this mess, he says to you. That doesn't even come close to answering any of your questions. In fact, it may have raised a few more. Damn right. People spying on me, coming into the city. I want to know, what is this about this writ of protection? A writ of protection, the merchant replies. Why, it's one of these, of course. He reaches into one of many pouches at his belt and pulls out a small roll of tough, expensive-looking vellum tied with a string of red yarn. The merchant unfolds the scroll with a practiced movement, and then produces a bottle ink and a sharpened reed, the kind used for writing, from a pouch. He unstoppers the ink, dips the reed in the ink, and scribbles something onto the scroll. This scroll is 3 months' worth of protection, he says, as he offers it to you. It will ward you from thieves and other criminals. If you're ever accosted within the city walls by a thug or brigand, simply show this to them, and they'll leave you be. You take the scroll, and the merchant continues. Normally a writ like this would cost you 50 silver. However, as an apology for your rough treatment, I offer this one to you for free. You will, of course, have to buy another at the end of the 3-month period. Okay, cool, that's good. We have a writ of protection. Where am I? Where am I? The man with the truncheon rolls his eyes. One of the thugs behind him actually sheathes her dagger to bury her face in her palm. You're in the Warrens, my friend, the merchant replies. It's the poorest part of town, and the easiest one to get lost in. Few people who don't live here ever come in, and none by choice. Suddenly, you feel very, very small. The shadows of the houses around you seem to loom even larger above you, as if to blot out the evening sky. I very much hope, the merchant continues, that you didn't come here by choice, my friend. You shake your head nervously. No, I didn't. I guess I was pretty lucky to run into you, wasn't I? There are certainly worse scenarios running through your head. The merchant looks at you oddly for a moment, then smiles. Lucky, yes, I suppose you might think it that. Who are you? The well-dressed man dips his head in a polished, fluid courtier's bow. William of William of Hallowford, at your service. And you? I am Johnny Nero, he replied, from Forester's Hollow. The merchant's eyebrow raises. Ah, so you are new here. Well, in that case, allow me to offer you some advice. These fine men and women, he gestures to the heavily armed thugs surrounding you, answer to me. Should any of them continue to trouble you in any way, do not hesitate to come to me and I shall see your case redressed. I have a very large manse in Brightwall Quarter. It's quite easy to find. Your eyes widen. Who is this man, and how exactly did he obtain the immense power and wealth he seems to wield with such familiarity? William of Hallowford smiles. These folk are my workers, you see. I am a merchant. I trade in protection. To be more specific, I ensure that no man, woman, or child under my protection in this city is threatened by pickpockets, burglars, or murderers. You return the merchant's look pointedly, remembering the feeling of sharp steel against your throat. That's funny, you say, voice dripping with irony, because I could swear your workers are about to rob me. The merchant replies with the shake of a head and an easy smile. You must understand, dear boy, I run a business. I generally find it is good policy if those unwilling to pay for protection are reminded of why that might be inadvisable. So you protect those who can't pay, prey on the ones who can't. I see, so Kendrickstone has to be bought. That's actually a pretty clever way to do business. It is a pretty clever way to do business, but he did just try to kill us. Let's see. Yeah, what about the poor people? No, stand up for the poor people. You daft little fool, the man with the truncheon exclaims. You'd rather live in fear of being robbed or knifed every day than pay your coin and walk the streets in safety. Tom, I would have a care not to speak to our young guest so harshly, interjects William of Hallowford in a tone of rebuke. The thug nods and mutters an apology under his breath. Of course, as coarsely as he might have put it, Tom does have a point, the merchant continues. This city's criminals feared nobody and answered to no one when I first arrived. Now they fear me, and thus, so long as you pay your fee, you've no need to fear them. William of Hallowford peers up at the sky for a moment, and then looks back down. Regardless, it's best you be getting out of here. I mean no offence to the fine folk who live here, but the Warrens after dark can be an unpleasant place, especially if you're not used to the big city. I suppose you will need directions. Yeah, we're going to ask him how to get to the keep, because we don't want to go to the Wizard's Tower. We don't need an inn, and yes, we do need directions. How do I get to the keep? How do I get to the keep, you ask? I'm considering seeking out a knight there. The merchant nods. A knight, eh? You might not think those noble bond snots and a humble trader like myself have much in common, but we're really one of a kind, me and them. I like order, they like order, and we sort of watch each other's backs in a twisted sort of way. He takes you by the shoulder and points you down one of the dark alleys. Take that road down until it splits in two. From there, turn right until you get to the river. Then, walk downstream until you get to the Butcher's Bridge. It's big and stone, so you can't miss it. From there, you'll be able to find a cobbled road that leads right to the keep. Got that? You go over instructions in your mind until you're sure you understand them. Then, you nod. Okay, I don't need any more directions. I'm good to go. We're good to go. Thank you for the directions, you reply. I should probably get going. However, before you turn to leave, the man in blue speaks again. Hold a moment, he says. You stop. Now that I think about it, someone like you might be of great use to me, he says. You're young, fit, and fresh from the country. I could offer you a bed, meals, and even a little bit of pay in exchange for a few services. Services, eh? I might be interested in that. What kind of services? Sorry, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. You pissed me off, good sir. The merchant nods, a grim expression on his face. Very well. If you insist on making your way without my help, I will accept your decision. With that, William of Halliford turns away. However, if you change your mind and decide to work for me, follow me at a discreet distance, he says over his shoulder. I will enter a house. Wait as long as seems prudent, and then knock upon the door. If you decide not to, walk away and this conversation never happened. Before long, the bright blue of the merchant's double blades disappearing into the shadows of the narrow streets. If you wish to follow him and empty his employ, you must decide to do so now, before you lose sight of him. No, I'm going to the keep. I don't like this guy. I've got my writ of protection, I've got 3 months' worth. So I'm going to the keep. Right. Here we go. You make your decision quickly. You want no part of William of Halliford's offer. You will take service with Dame Mildred. Equipped with the merchant's directions, you have little trouble making your way to the Butcher's Bridge. From there, a wide cobbled street leads directly up to the gates of the keep. By the time you arrive, the night is pitch black, and only the torches held up by the guards at the keep's entrance reassure you that you are headed in the right direction. The gate guards are jumpy as you approach them. After all, you are armed and walking up to the keep in the middle of the night. However, after you ask for Dame Mildred, they relax considerably. It seems the sentinels had already been forewarned of your possible arrival. Your would-be mistress is already abed, but the guards are kind enough to direct you to the castle guardhouse, where you are fed a bowl of hot porridge and a few rashers of bacon washed down with some not-too-bad ale. Then you are shown to one of the rooms set aside for sleeping. The cot you are given isn't very large, and the mattress is rather thin, but after the day you've had, you nod off as soon as your head hits the pillow. The next day, you are inducted into service as servant-at-arms in the retinue of Dame Mildred of Sonnermercy. Right, guys, we will leave that episode there. I hope you enjoyed it. We have got to the keep. We got through another little bandit attack. Not quite as bad as the first one, and we didn't need Dame Mildred to help us out this time. As always, if you like this series, let me know. Keep up the feedback. And I'll be back soon for another episode of The Hero of Kendrickstone. So, see you next time.